Hello everybody and welcome back to Full House Sports here with myself Charlie for episode 6 of Calcio, my weekly look at all things Italian football and all things Serie A related. And what a week it has been with teams in action in the Champions League, Conference League and Europa League, as well as some domestic action to digest over the weekend just gone. And there is plenty of talking points this weekend, as always, could be huge in Serie A. Starting tonight, of course, where Milan will take on Pisa at the San Siro. Pisa sitting bottom, AC Milan sitting top. My 1 week in prediction is aging quite well if you go back to episode 1, that I did think they would be in the title race. Listen, I think they will win tonight, and it is a potentially huge weekend for them, because if they do win, Inter versus Napoli on Saturday all of a sudden becomes a massive game for both them. If Napoli win, Milan find themselves 4 points clear. And Napoli is where I want to start, or I guess I've already started really, but Napoli is where I want to start because they are, I don't want to say in trouble, that's the wrong word, but their woes continue. 6-2 in the week up against Dutch side PSV. Have to go 1-0 up. Scott McTominay's header was absolutely brilliant. But an ill-tempered Lorenzo Luca outburst saw him sent off and Napoli conceded 6. And they are, I think it's fair to say, in injury crisis. Alex Moretta's recently this morning has gone down injured, meaning Milinkovic-Savic will start in goal. You've also, of course, got Lukaku, not expected back till December. I think it is gradually showing what a huge miss he is. I know it's inevitable anyway, people would say that, but wow, what a miss he is for them. Botka, Højlund as well is down with, I think, fatigue, they've said, which is quite something. There's a lot of players at the moment, Romani as well, who are out injured, as well as, of course, like I say, the big name of Lukaku. They're struggling. Their squad is being stretched. It's quite ironic that after complaining this summer that they thought signing 9 players was too much, Conte needs those 9 players now really, really badly, because they're in trouble in terms of squad availability and probably don't need to be playing Inter, who look in form on Saturday night. It's 5 o'clock kickoff. It's a huge game. Really looking forward to that one. Again, feels like a massive game for both teams. I said that about Inter Roma last weekend. I said that about Milan-Napoli. For now, Milan to be playing tonight, potentially going 4 points clear. The pressure really goes onto those two tomorrow evening to strike back. And I do fancy Inter because, despite me saying early doors, like I say, I'm not the oracle of Italian football. Despite me saying early doors that I thought that they may drop off, they seem to be gradually creeping back. 4-0 in the week against Union Saint-Gilloise in the Champions League. Pio Esposito getting his first Champions League goal, which is a massive week for him. He's done fantastically well. What a story his is in terms of coming up. And I think that's why Kivu was brought in as manager, potentially because they wanted to bring the age of the squad down. And of course, his background was with the Primavera. So they wanted to bring him in to bring through those young players. And he's doing exactly that with Esposito as well as others. I thought their performance last week was very interlocked the last few years. Yes, Roma, I'm going to talk about them in a bit. They missed a lot of chances. They did try something different. It blatantly didn't work. But it felt big. And it felt like the Inter players at the end as well knew how big it was with their celebrations. They seemed to be overjoyed at it. It felt like a lot of hard work had come together. Bonny, by the way, still playing fantastically well. And his finish was brilliant. Although, I've got to say, the high line was very bizarre from Roma in that game. I thought his touch, actually, Bonny took it too wide, but clearly not, obviously. He put it away anyway. Whether they thought it was offside or not, I don't know. But yeah, fair play to Inter. Milan, as I touched on, playing Pisa tonight. Pisa are still bottom, and for me, look like they could be already be an early contender for relegation. Milan at the San Siro on a Friday, they will be expecting, you would think, to win that game. And like I say, if they can win, the pressure is well and truly on the other teams. I wasn't expecting it. I thought maybe the form would start to stutter. Maybe they would start to drop off. I've got to say, he's one of my favourite players of all time anyway, but Luka Modric, wow. How good is he looking? A lot of people writ him off as too old. A lot of people said that Milan had made a mistake on him. He's doing exactly what Allegri needs him to do. And there's times as well when you watch him in the game where he looks like he's walking round. He's almost playing like walking football at the local leisure centre. And he's just walking around and he's just looking, scanning, and then he gets the ball and just does what he needs with it. Just that little injection of just calmness and quality that I think Milan have definitely lacked in that midfield these last few years. You look at the midfielders they've had, they've not really had someone like him who can control the game, who can keep it going. You think Inter have probably had Çalhanoğlu. Juventus a few years ago under Allegri had Pirlo. I think Milan's midfield has been a real problem for them. Modric does exactly what they need Modric to do in terms of just keeping things ticking over. wonderfully well. I still think it makes me laugh when you watch Serie A on TNT Sports. If you had £1 for every time Adam Summerton or Don Hutchison, whoever, said something about needing more from Rafa Leao, you would be a millionaire. Because it's every week, oh, we need more from him. They'll come out with a mad stat about him not having an assist or a goal at the San Siro. I think it was 15 months. It's true, they probably do need to see more from Leao. I just think, controversial take, Leao might not be as good as everyone thought he was going to be. I think that might be the truth. I think people expect him to be this sort of superstar of world football. I think he's quite happy playing at Milan. And yeah, there's probably more to come from him, but I don't think he's going to be as good as everyone thought he was going to be. Now, talking all things Europe, because of course Milan are not taking part in Europe, hence the reason they're playing on the Friday night. And Juventus, a loss for them in the week to Real Madrid. I've got to say, it wasn't a great game, I didn't think. I thought Real sort of out-fought Juventus, which was unusual. But Igor Tudor is well under pressure. 7 games without a win. In fact, I think it was episode 2 of this series where I said they were the most entertaining side in Europe. I think I may have jinxed them, because they're now 7 games without a win. There's rumours these next 2 games are absolutely pivotal. Lazio on Sunday is the first one of them. If things do not go to plan, Tudor could be out of a job. Apparently, Spalletti, Palladino and Mancini make up the 3-man shortlist at the Old Lady. Listen, a controversial take. I just think Juventus have got to ride the storm here. I think we've got to accept they've got to accept the Bianconeri that times have changed, and unfortunately they've not got the money. They can't spend. We know UEFA are back investigating them. That's not great. There's got to be, the purse strings are tight. Whoever comes in is going to have to work with what they've got. If Spalletti comes in, is that going to work with the style of football he's going to want to play? He's not going to want to play a conservative brand. He's going to want to play the way they played at Napoli. Is that going to work midway through a season? I don't think so. Palladino, maybe. I think he deserves. I'd like to see him have another chance. He deserves another chance. I don't know what happened at Fiorentina, but he deserves another chance. And Mancini, I mean, he's made no secret he wants to come back to management. He was linked with Nottingham Forest job the other week, so maybe that might be the best fit just to see them through. But I think whoever goes into Juventus is going to find it tough because of the money situation. They've not got the money that they used to have and they used to be able to spend. And I also think they're a little bit out of touch. They used to get these free transfers that you thought, wow. There's some players who maybe other clubs in Europe would consider past their prime. Now other clubs in Italy are doing that. Inter and Milan are 2 that are predominantly doing that. Looking at the Modric, for example, Inter are doing it as well. Looking at older players and going, right, we'll take them on 1-2 years. They'll do the job. They'll bring us that success. That Juventus are no longer the only ones doing that in Italy. Talking of Lazio, though, 0-0 at the weekend against Atalanta. Things are slowly starting to tick over. Whether this is going to be one of those seasons where it's just quite run-of-the-mill, I don't know. They'll be up for it against Juventus. Of course they will. Maurizio Sarri will be well up for it against his former club. I don't know. At the minute with Juventus, you just put money on a draw. Lazio, like I said, Jekyll and Hyde. Some weeks they look really solid defence, some weeks they look really open, some weeks they look like scoring 4 or 5 goals, some weeks they don't score any. It's one of those teams at the moment. It looks like it's a few moving parts. They need to get together, they need to click, and how long it will take to do that, I don't know. If it ever does, who knows? The other club in Rome, Roma, played Victoria Pilsen last night in the Europa League, and things did not go well. 2-1 to the Czechs at the Olimpico. Dybala's consolation penalty was no match for them. Yeah, Roma. Rumours flying around that maybe Ferguson and Dovbyk could both be sold off or loans ended in January. I think it showed in the Inter game. They haven't got goals in them. Dovbyk's header over the bar, that's a chance in the early on in the second half. There was other chances he had. He looks a striker low on confidence, and he looks a striker who doesn't want to be near where the ball is. Doesn't want to be near it because he doesn't feel confident that he's going to take the chance. It's sad. I don't like seeing that in footballers. They tried the new system against Inter where they had the no striker. Yeah, against Inter's 3 at the back, that was probably never going to work unless you were going to pass your way through them, which they didn't. It's not yet there yet, under Gasperini. Problematic. Really problematic, I thought. And I'm not entirely sure where they go with this, because a lot of talk that behind the scenes the club aren't happy. Gasperini might not be happy. Didn't get the targets he wanted. Who they were, I don't know. But there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes at the Olimpico in the Roma offices that will come to light maybe in January. They've got to keep Gasperini happy. He's not come there. He's not left Atalanta to not be given what he wants. Saying that, he's not getting any younger, so he might just ride it out. But I do think their form in Europe as well isn't great. They've got to be careful in that Europa League because there's a few big hitters down in the Europa League, and they are certainly one of them. It's a weird topsy-turvy competition at the moment. The league format means they've still got 5 games to go. They will probably qualify. Now they've got Rangers coming up, but can't rest on your laurels in that because you don't want to be going into this match day 7 and match day 8 needing a win. Also, Como play Fiorentina. Stefano Pioli needs a win, although they do top the Conference League, which is incredible to see. But things are not looking good. He called it the worst day of football, I think, in Sunday's loss to Milan. He spoke about that the signs are there, that they're looking aggressive, that they're looking good. They need more of that against Como because what a team they are looking this season. 6th in the league. I know I keep saying it every week about Cesc Fabregas. He is one of Europe's best young managers, but Nico Paz is one of Europe's best young players. Wow, what a baller, and how good did he look against Juventus? I said last week I thought it'd be tricky for Juventus. They're becoming a bit of a cult club, Como. I saw Wenger and Varane there at the weekend. It's a beautiful part of the world. It's an attractive project, no doubt, they've got there. And I think they know what they've got. They're not going to break the barrier break the budget trying to get loads and loads of overplayed veterans in. But it's working. And Paz, I don't know how long they'll keep him for. I really don't. I know there's other clubs interested. Tottenham were definitely interested in the summer, but he just looks so electric when he gets the ball. He gets you on. He's one of them players that just makes you stand up. He reminds me a little bit of Angel Di Maria when I watch him. And I know that's a lazy comparison because of the Argentina link, but he just does the way he just glides and he excites you. Fiorentina need a win. Conference League's their bread and butter, but Pioli's still winless in the league. Again, another manager potential under pressure. Could we see 2 high-profile managerial casualties in Serie A this weekend? Just quickly on Milan and Como, the Australian FA have approved plans for that game to take place there. We saw this week Villarreal Barcelona called off. I do wonder if that will have a knock-on effect, but there doesn't seem to be as much protest in Italy as there is in Spain. We saw the players in Spain, of course, stop for 15 seconds. I don't know if that will happen in Italy, if they're going to. The league have been pretty harsh in terms of talking about that. But we shall wait and see. I think it will also hinge heavily on how Milan are doing. And if they are in a title race, will they want to be travelling halfway around the world? I still stand by that they won't. As always, guys, thank you for watching. I love doing these Calcio Corner videos. I really want to see more sort of Serie A fans to speak to me. Feel free to. I love it. I love it as a league, and I think we all do. People of a certain age remember Football Italia. I don't. Sorry to rub that in, but even now, it's just an amazing, it's a magical place. So, as always, please give us a like, please comment, please subscribe. Have a great day.